So we finally beat the final boss of the campaign last night, the Child of Chaos, and I recorded it because I wanted to revisit it with you guys and talk you through how I did it so that hopefully you can do it on your account, because it's kind of a tough one. It's kind of a tough battle. So we're going to talk through the troubles that we had and how we fixed them and all that stuff. Before we get started, I do want to give a big shout out to Dragonheir for sponsoring this video. If you decide you want to check it out, there's a link down below, or you can scan the QR code that's above me right now and get on in here and get to it, and then, you know, catch up and make your way to the Child of Chaos so you can beat it too. All right, now let's go ahead and just jump straight in. I'm going to let you see all of it, the whole process of how tough this was. Now we're going in first. Do we mix the team up here? I tried a couple of different combinations of teams and decided to just kind of get back to the basics. There's one team that I've pretty much used through the entire campaign that's done it all. That's solved every problem for me. So here I tried to mix it up a little bit and try some new stuff. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just get back to the basics, back to the same setup that I do, and see what we can't figure out here. So whenever I get them in, we'll talk about the team. Up front, we've got Furbath, who, if you've been watching my videos, you know I'm a huge fan of. He is just an incredible tank. You stick him in the front, and he's crazy what he's able to do for you. And then we've got Hexandra in the back, who is the rare healer. Everybody has her. She's fantastic. I'm still using her. You see she's level 100. She's well worth a level 100. We've got Sigrid in there, who is the rare damage dealer, who is also fantastic. And then we've got my Traveler, who is on fire. It's Fire Traveler right now. And then Elminster that we got from the D&D event. This is my squad. This is the team that I use for everything. So for this first part of the battle, it's fairly straightforward, even to the point where I can auto it. So I usually auto the first part of this battle, and then right near the end, before they kill the boss, I turn off auto so that I can manual in the next phase, because in the next phase, that's where it's going to be really important for you to focus your fire a little bit. And we'll talk about that when we get there. There's not much to see here. Again, just a fairly straightforward fight on auto. So we're going to jump ahead a little bit to where we get here. Now I believe, no, I had already turned it off. So you see we're saving our ults. When the boss gets to that first skill up there, it's going to put a hand around, for me, Furbath, for your front line. Probably it's going to be whoever your tank is, right? Now, you want to unleash on that hand. You need to kill that hand before the boss uses the ultimate. If the boss uses the ultimate and this hand is still holding your tank's out of the fight. And if you start losing champs, the fight's basically over, because the next time this comes around, the hand's going to go on someone else, and then you're really not going to be able to get rid of it, and you're just going to get picked off one by one. No matter how tanky you are, no matter how much healing you've got, you're going to eventually lose your damage dealers, and that's going to be the end of the fight. So you have to unload everything you got on that hand. Now, for my team, Sigrid has the crown. Crown of the Undead, maybe I don't remember what the crown is called, but it's the one that lets you put defense down up. She's got that. She does not proc it a ton, but it's there, right? So I tend to use her ult first, and then my Traveler and Elminster, who both have pretty decent gear on at this point for my account anyway. There's an argument to be had that the crown would be better served on someone else, so that Sigrid could come in with the defense down and do the bigger damage, but that's something you can play around with in your own account as you see fit. So anyway, that's the strategy, right? That's the way that it needs to be done. Where you're going to run into issues are, one, someone gets picked off in the first round, which for me was Sigrid. I had some issues with Sigrid going down in the first round occasionally, so I had to play around with my positioning to make that reliable. And then the other big issue you're going to have with this is not enough damage to get rid of that hand. If you don't get rid of that hand, you're not going to win this fight, almost certainly. All right. So that's that. So this is going to end up failing when we lose Furbath, right? I think there's one where we're real close. This one we barely squeaked it out, but there's a time coming up soon, yeah, where we get taken out. So we go in, we move around a little bit of gear. I get my Hexandra on a 3-piece set of this. I knew I needed a little bit more tankiness, right? I think Hexandra went down, and then everybody else started to follow. So we regeared her. We regeared. I think we regeared. Did we regear Elminster? I'm not sure. Anyway, we try again, and this might be where we start. Oh, I did use some food. I think it probably wore off by the time we finally beat this, but I did start using food. And funny thing, that's the first time I ever remembered to use food for a buff. You see how much stuff we've got in there? It's the first time, literally in this whole game, that I remembered to try to do that. All the stuff that I've struggled with in the past, I was stuck in the campaign for such a long time at one point, and finally remembered, oh yeah, I've got this food that would probably help me get through some of this stuff. So anyway, we come back here, and is this where Sigrid gets taken out? There's a series of like 3 fights in a row where Sigrid gets one-shotted. No, it's not here. This might be the one where we're like this close to getting one more attack on the hand, but we don't get it, and we get taken out. Anyway, you get the idea. So in that respect, it's a pretty simple fight. You see here our tank's gone, and now there's a hand on one of our champs down here. And once that happens, it's just over. You see, we had him pretty low, but once you start losing champs, you start losing damage. You're going to start getting picked off one by one. And if your healer happens to go, that's a wrap for you. So yeah, we started moving some gear around. We came in and re-geared him, got him on a 3-piece set. I let him borrow a piece of gear from someone. And that's kind of what it takes. Just kind of putting all your best gear on whatever team you want to use to do this. Now I think we end up in a situation where Sigrid keeps getting picked off. And if there was audio, you'd hear me cussing a little bit. Yeah, that right there. And that happened 3 times in a row. So I finally figured out, I think it was this fight. I'll show you how I rearranged them so that you can see the lineup of the formation. That was me. The way the boss is doing that, that's me when Sigrid kept getting taken off. So that's what I decided to go with, because what he's doing, the boss is like hitting and sliding everyone over, and it's leaving Sigrid exposed. So I was like, you know what? I'll just trap her on that left side, and hopefully that'll be ended to keep her from being so exposed, and we can deal with the minions before they're a problem. And that it worked. That ended up working pretty handily for us. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the run that we... Is this the run that we win? There might be one more run after this, but we're getting close to the run where we finally beat it. So you see now everybody got like hit and shoved over, and they get kind of jumbled up, but we kept Sigrid from being on that outside spot alone, which I think was the problem. She was taking damage from the minions, and then she was also getting picked off by the big burst damage that the boss is going to drop occasionally. So now we've got Hexandra out there by herself who can handle it. Sigrid cannot. Sigrid is pure damage. So again, you can auto this first round. You might run into issues occasionally with your DPS getting picked off, but rearrange them a little bit and they'll eventually get through it. Right near the end of the round, we're going to turn off auto and start sitting on our ults a little bit so that we're prepared for that hand, because and the thing is, like, as soon as the hand becomes a target, you want to start dragging skills onto it, because the quicker you get your ults off, the quicker you start recharging the next ult. And you need every fraction of a second you can get, unless your skill haste is really high. You need every bit of damage you can get out of it. So I think I might have used my Traveler's ult here, because my Traveler's ult fills up pretty fast, so I knew we'd have it again in time. He'll throw his little fit, turn into the gold version. And then this is basically, again, there's really nothing else to it. It's not a super complicated fight in that respect. If you're trying to come in and auto it, though, unless you're just crazy strong and you've got crazy strong AoE and they're taking out the hand by proxy, you're probably going to have to manual it and, again, focus the hand. So I'm using Sigrid first to try to get the defense down. We didn't get it that time. We really don't need it. We can kill it without. The defense down does help us get it out of there quicker. But my Traveler does pretty good damage, even aside from having a defense down up. So we were able to get it down in most cases. Another thing to note, you'll notice occasionally there will be a heal block on someone on the team. If you feel like you can, hold off on the heal until the heal block's gone. Wait to heal with her until the heal block's gone. And if you're using Furbath, he will never need a heal from her. So you can focus her heals back here, and just try to wait till the heal block wears off. Right? You see she's got it there. So I almost used it, and then I was like, let me hold off for a second. I know I'm going to get some shields from Elminster, like it's fine. So that's it. Attack the hand when it's on the battlefield. Wait until the heal blocks are gone before you try to heal. You can also, one thing I started doing that was kind of cheeky is right before Furbath gets grabbed, if he had his ult, I would use it right before he got grabbed just to throw up the attack down and do a little bit of damage. He was like a little bit late that time, but see there we got the defense down. We'll get it down a little bit quicker this time. And some of you might have much better gear than I have by the time you get here, so you might not even struggle to get that hand out of there. But for us, it was close. It was pretty close. Healing Prohibition. Wait till it's gone before you heal. It's easy. You know what I mean? I guess it's a little bit of a stat check, but beyond that, it's pretty easy. After this, I'll go show you the gear that I'll go show you what the gear looks like on everybody on the team. But this is pretty much it, right? Till the fight ends. We'll skip ahead a little bit. It's rinse and repeat the same thing over and over and over. And then when you get to a certain point, when the boss is fairly low, I think when we kill the hand here, I'll probably just hit auto because now we really can't lose. You know what I mean? There's not really enough time left for us to lose now. So that's it. That's how you beat the Child of Chaos. Again, not really so bad as far as being a complicated fight. There are much more complicated fights in this game where timing matters a lot more. This one's not so bad. It's really just a stat check. So let's jump over now. I'll run through real quick and show you the gear of all the members of the team, and then that'll be that, right? All right, so let's take a look at the gear on everyone on the team. We'll start with Elminster. I have the Meditator's Pipe on him. It just gives him enlightenment, and enlightenment is really good for him, right? So that's a pretty good artifact for him. We went with the 3 Ears emblem. 3 Ears, is that what it's called? I still don't know all the names of the sets like that. That says 3 Ears. This says Brotherhood Spirit. So Brotherhood Spirit is what we went with. Accuracy and skill haste, right? So he can land his debuffs, cycle around a little bit faster. And basically in the substats, for him, I was really wanting some damage out of him. I didn't focus his crit. I really just worried about his attack. So he's got attack across the board. I did give him an enlightenment here because, again, enlightenment is really good for him. Enlightenment helps his damage. So that's that. And then on the helmet, a little bit of enlightenment, a little bit of attack. Nothing crazy. He's not min-maxed. Here we went with an attack one. And I think I forgot. Oh, I don't have one. But, you know, I'd probably put attack there as well. But anyway, Brotherhood set. Is that Brotherhood Spirit? Because we wanted to have the accuracy as well. My Traveler is using the Ancestor's Bone. It's extra crit damage because I did focus crit quite a bit on my Traveler. And we went with the Wrath of the Trolls. I don't know if I went with this set specifically on purpose or if I just had good pieces. You'll notice the substats on these I think are fairly decent. So we had a double attack roll, crit damage, and accuracy. I don't think I'm too concerned with accuracy. I'm more worried about the crit stats and the damage. Double crit rate roll there, crit damage, accuracy, attack percentage with some crit rate, a little bit of a tank stat as well. Crit rate on the gloves with attack. Right, I think the set just had pretty decent subs for damage, and I really just want damage, so that's what we went with. And then here we added some crit damage as well. So we're getting pretty good damage, and the skill haste was nice. You notice I said my Traveler got their ult faster than everybody else, it seemed. That's why, because of this set was helping us cycle. So again, just kind of a pure damage build with the skill haste, but it doesn't have to be skill haste. It could be any of the damage sets, I think, honestly. Probably, potentially. I don't know. I do think maybe that was kind of helpful. There were times where I was able to sneak in one more ult and do damage to the hand and get it out of there right before the boss could use the 4th skill. So that's worth considering. If you find that you're not able to do enough damage, maybe try a set or 2 of this throughout the team, and maybe that'll help you get that last ult in. You know what I mean? Furbath, who, again, if you've been watching my videos, you know is one of my favorite, possibly still my favorite epic. I don't really know who's going to take that spot. Varesh is dope, but I like Furbath more. I did recently get Garius, and I'm pretty stoked about that. But I really like Furbath, man. He's been really, really cool. I got him, and it was just like my progress shot up. He's bonkers. I gave him the Scarab Amulet. I think that's a pretty good artifact. Is that what it's called? Artifact, yeah, for him. And then I've only got a 2-piece set of the Ancestral Protection Hood. No, sorry. Yeah, Ancestral Protection. Now, I'm trying to remember, did I let him borrow? Maybe I never felt the need to make my way around to him. Maybe he was doing fine. He was never in enough danger that I felt like I needed to come switch it. But I could have come over and put him on a 3-piece, I reckon. I might actually give him this one. And I might actually do it right now. But anyway, this is what he looked like. So, right, tank stats. Just tank stats. I focus defense very heavily on him. And then the resistance and other stuff is great. I do like accuracy on him so he can land his attack down. But right, defense, main stat, tank stats in the subs, defense. I did give him some accuracy here. Pretty straightforward. Just make him tanky, build him like a tank. You know what I mean? I am going to give him this. We're going to get him in a 3-piece. So now that's what he looks like. Sigrid. I moved the Crown of the Unclean on her, like I said. I think you probably want this somewhere in the team. It doesn't have to be her. But given the way that my other champs are and the artifacts they're using, I think it worked out well for me. So you put it somewhere on the team on someone that's landing a debuff, right? So that's the artifact for her. She has the Imperial Executioner set. And again, basic damage build. So if you've got attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage in your substats, that's really what you're after here on her for the most part. All right. Attack across the board. We still have decent-ish. She's critting about half the time. If you can get a crit stat, like if you can get crit damage with good crit rate or use a crit rate glove, that's also fine. We had some pretty decent crit rate rolls on her, so we could kind of get away with doing it like this. But yeah, standard damage. Here we've got, I did give her some HP here because just kind of throughout the game, she's squishy. She will get one-shotted. So I thought maybe I would give her a little HP here, and that would kind of help us out. And then resistance, I think she's wearing this because it's the only one I had. I only recently started farming this dungeon at all, so I had very few of these. So I think she was just wearing this because it was all I had, and it also had a little bit of crit rate and crit damage. So the substats were pretty good for her. I may consider resistance as I'm trying to move up in the Grave of Rot. I may put resistance on everybody, try to just avoid those debuffs, but that's a different conversation. But anyway, you see, she's not min-maxed at all. She's not like optimized for damage. We focused on her HP a little bit too because I got tired of her being one-shotted through the whole campaign. But standard damage, and then if you want to go full-on damage here, if you can keep her alive, great. If not, this is a good place to pad her survivability a little bit, right? And the resistance one is doing her no good right now. That one could be either a little bit more HP if you needed it, or if you wanted to go something for damage, that would be great for her. And then Exandra is, of course, wearing the book, the healing book. That's really the way to go for her. And then she's got the Radiance of the Blue Oak set, right? It gives her Enlightenment and HP, which are great stats for her. And then just shoot her HP up, right? Shoot her HP way up. If you can get other Enlightenment on her, great. But really, HP, tank stats, resistance, defense, things along those lines. HP main stats on these two, if you can at all manage it. And then down here, I would imagine we've probably got HP and, yeah, something else tanky. So pretty good defense one. As we farm up, I'll probably swap this over to an HP or perhaps a resistance as we get our hand on it. Maybe I'll swap these two around. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I really want to have purple, at least, on everybody on these. So we're probably going to start hitting that dungeon a little bit harder. But that's it. Again, everybody's a fairly straightforward build. There's nothing really off the beaten path here. Your healer needs to be tanky. Your tank needs to be tanky. Your damage dealers need to do damage. There's nothing really super off the wall here. Pretty standard builds on everybody. Save Sigrid maybe, who might need a little bit of extra help with the runes. Is that what they're called? Yeah, with the runes staying alive. All right, so that's it. I hope that helps you do something in your account. Quick little bonus tip: if you're struggling anywhere with extra teams and you need a healer, I built her last night to get through a couple things, and she's crazy. She's crazy good. So that's just that has nothing to do with the rest of this video. I just feel like she deserved a shout out because holy cow, did she push me through some content and she's not even all the way done yet. She's really good. So if you've got Megan, build her. But that's it. I hope this helps you get through the Child of Chaos and finish the campaign. If you've got any other tips that you want to drop for the dungeon, please do so in the comments. I would appreciate it. And I'm sure other people would as well. A big shout out to Dragonheir for sponsoring this video. If you decide you want to check it out, you can click the link down below or scan the QR code that's above me right now. Other than that, I appreciate you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one.